I think it's safe to say that there were quite a few people who disagreed with my trendy versus timeless part 2 takes. And this to me is awesome, because what better way to learn, grow, and expand your perspective than with a little bit of conflict of opinions. So for today's discussion, we're going to be exploring what defines trendiness in fashion, as well as what defines timelessness within fashion. Now, if you have a particularly strong opinion about this, the comment section exists so that your inner thoughts can become outward expressions in the written form. Who's ready? You ready? Let's go. Let's start with fashion trends. Over the last month and a half, I feel like I've gone on and on about fashion trends. What I like, what I don't like, why it's trending, why it's timeless, and now with this video trying to define timelessness and trendiness. From my perspective, everyone seems to love talking about fashion trends. But what truly defines a trendy item, an aesthetic, or a style? In my opinion, there are 3 prime criteria that must be met for something to be considered trendy. 1. The item or style no longer represents the niche community from which it originated. In the trendy versus timeless video, a lot of people thought it was sacrilegious of me to say that the Adidas Samba was trendy. I could have been more nuanced in my delivery with that opinion, but I feel like it still is more true than false in 2022. While the Samba is generationally recognized, I feel like it has more appeal than ever before because it's trending right now. It's a hot button ticket item, and whilst they were being sold in 2011, there are probably thousands of pairs being sold in 2011. In 2022, I can guarantee you the amount of Samba sold in the last 8-10 months pales in comparison to what Samba numbers were in 2011, in 2005, in 1999, and on and on. To bring it back to my original criteria, the Adidas Samba were created by the founding father of Adidas, Adi Dassler, to quote, provide traction on icy soccer fields, end quote. Yes, the sneaker has deep roots in history within soccer or football for my non-American audience. But in 2022, I would say is more recognized for its collaboration with Wales Bonner, Jonah Hill, and Sporty and Rich. So I actually want to renege on that point. I don't think the Sambas are more recognizable because of these collaborations, but I do think they play a role in increasing the desirability of the Samba. I honestly believe that the white pair and the black pair are probably the most popular, but the more you kind of dive into the other pairs that are maybe collaborated pairs, the more you start to see that the Samba is a truly trendy and popular sneaker and is reaching heights that it hasn't seen before. The second criteria for trendiness, according to me, is availability and or resellability. Trendy fashion is profitable fashion. Now, there are definitely some exceptions to this rule, probably a lot of exceptions to this rule, but I still think it rings mostly true. Things that are trendy sell out and typically sell for more on the secondhand market, thus cementing its desirability. I think a good example of this is the New Balance 992 in 2020 or the Nike Dunk in 2020. The Jown pairs of the 992 sparked a ton of buzz and a lot of interest in the 992 silhouette for New Balance, and subsequently those shoes sold out and were sold for elevated prices on the resale market. And I'm giving a lot of footwear examples because you can easily track the volatility of price amongst footwear models, but I can almost guarantee you there has been an uptick in sales in Arc'teryx Beta LT jackets, Carhartt Detroit jackets, and something like over-the-ear headphones for Sony or Apple. When something is trendy, its availability is scarce, its desirability is high, and its resellability is also elevated. 3, the last criteria for trendiness in my eyes.
Open 24 hours a day. What a stupid idea. Who wants a Krabby Patty at 3 in the morning?
Honestly, I can't think of a third criteria at this moment, so we're gonna pocket that leave it at 1 and 2, and move on to defining timelessness. I think it is far more difficult to say that something is vehemently timeless. Even for collared shirts, heels, and other fashion items that you would surefire say that are timeless, my perspective, and a lot of the perspective of people coming from the Western world, is just that, a very Americanized or European Western perspective. And if I break down my own personal experiences and biases, I simply can't ignore my identity as an African American, as a black man, the region that I grew up in, and the era that I exist in currently. I bring all this up to highlight what I say is timeless even in my own city, even in Colorado, even in Denver. If I were to drive 40 miles west or 40 miles east, I think I'd find quickly everyone's definition for timelessness is based off of the intricacies of identity and our own personal biases. I truly believe our personal bias plays a huge role into whether or not we believe something is trendy or timeless. There were a few arguments that I read in the comment section of the previous trendy versus timeless video that I feel like are worth addressing. The first one is that timelessness is essentially about how long an item has existed for and looking at whether or not it still is popular or is used today. And I can agree with this argument for the most part. It seems that collectively, a lot of people have the opinion that yes, for something to be timeless, it has to have longevity. But fashion is constantly changing. The way skinny jeans were worn in the 70s is totally different than how they were worn in the 2010s. You could make the argument that for some, this image is timeless, and for others, this image is trendy, and vice versa. In my opinion, most of the big name items, the big name or most traditional items that you hear about, go through this cycle of being both trendy and timeless simultaneously. Something like Crocs were deeply uncool when I was a kid growing up, and for a lot of people, but now all of a sudden they're cooler than ever. And I remember having Saeed Al-Rubai on my podcast. He's the founder of Story MFG, and he painted this picture so beautifully when he was talking about how when he was growing up, there was a period in time when Bape, a bathing ape, was amazing. Then it went through a period of time where Bape was deeply uncool. And in 2022, you could make the argument that Bape is once again going through a resurgence and becoming cool again. And that's just the way of fashion. With brands, styles, and items that have reached mass level success, they go in and out of popularity. And when they're popular, I think it's okay to call them trendy, because 5 years ago, they just were so deeply uncool, or no one batted an eye about a particular brand or item. But I think it's also okay to call them timeless. I think there's a dichotomy going on, because while, this has existed for 10, 15, 20 years, it hasn't seen the same level of praise over the course of its 20-year lifespan. And I think this rings true for skinny jeans, Jordan 1s, Dunks, like I mentioned, Bape, and you can name so many other items and products that have had this kind of fluctuation going on within their life cycle. So what is timelessness? What is time itself but a representation of a period, a moment? Maybe we're doing a disservice to our psyche and the culture by categorizing fashion into these very broad bins, as fun as it may be. Timelessness is hard to pinpoint, in my opinion, because in 100 years, 200, or even 500 years, I guarantee you those humans from that era are going to look back at 2022. They're going to say that nothing that we were wearing was timeless, or the majority wasn't timeless. Just look back 500 years for yourself and ask, is any of this timeless? Not to be all corny and philosophical, but the only thing that seems to be timeless in our life, in our world, is the universe. Technically, everything else has an expiration date. Everything is finite. Before I outro this video, I want to redeem and clarify some of the opinions that I made in the previous Trendy vs. Timeless Part 2 video. 1. I have no hate towards the Adidas Samba, people. 2. Racing jackets are fire. Sorry if I ruffled some feathers. I think racing jackets are tough. I just categorize them as being more trendy right now. But if you've been wearing them for 20 years, who am I to tell you that it's something that's trendy? Crocs are timeless. And this is more an opinion that I feel like I'm projecting on. I think Crocs will continue to be worn for generations to come. Camo looks good, and when styled correctly can even look great. So sorry for the camo community if you're a little bit upset. And I give a lot of hate, a lot of flack to the Carhartt Detroit jacket. Carhartt Detroit jackets look nice, guys. I enjoy seeing a fit with a Carhartt Detroit jacket, styled correctly, a dude or a girl looking confident in their outfit. At the end of the day, my opinion is just that, an opinion. Don't let it bother you so much? How would you define trendiness or timelessness? Let me know. I am very curious to see your answers. And as always, I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity in 2022. So that means I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity to you, wherever you are in the world. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Abianto. Peace. Yo, what is good? Post vid, man. Here's a fist bump for the one time. Bop. Let's get it 2 times. Bop. Thank you guys so much for staying to the end of the video. The 0.00000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000 who actually stayed to the end of the videos. I appreciate you immensely. For the post vid, we got a question for you. It's our post vid question of the day. I played the question up like it's something big. It's not that big of a question. My question, answer with hashtag PVV down in the comments, is what kind of videos you guys want to see from me for the next couple weeks here. I want to go extremely hard from November to December. I'll probably take a little bit of a break, maybe a week or 2 in January. So let me know what videos you would like me to cover, topics you'd like me to cover. We can continue talking about this. I'm having fun. I'm having more fun making YouTube videos than anything else. If you don't know, I have a TikTok, I have a podcast, I make reels, I have Instagram, I have all this stuff. But like, for whatever reason, YouTube videos right now has been incredibly fun, and it kind of fluctuates as a creator. Like, there are times where, yeah, making TikToks or making reels is like very exciting and like can be a lot of fun. But right now, my skill set as a YouTuber, I feel it like increasing over 9,000 power level, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Hopefully this video brought you some thought-provoking content, and we'll talk to you later, okay? Peace. Love you guys.